The game that promises to be Left 4 Dead in a fantasy world and delivers that and then some. This is Warhammer Vermintide 2. So the Warhammer world is filled with monsters and rat creatures, and what can 4 heroes and monster hunters do but to gang together and travel through fallen cities and dark undergrounds to exterminate the whole pestilence. The idea is brilliant, of course. Hey, let's take Left 4 Dead and put the whole thing in the Warhammer world and add lots of loot, especially a lot of fancy weapons, add a cozy hub world, and we have a huge success. Yes, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is all of that, and yes, it is a success in almost every aspect. If you have played Left 4 Dead, you will know how this game works. It's a traditional 4-player co-op shooter where you walk through levels fighting against unpredictable waves of enemies. But you're only actually shooting maybe a third of the time because most of the action is dealt by melee weapons. The game has similarities to co-op modes like Salmon Run in Splatoon 2 and horde modes like the online co-op multiplayer in Mass Effect 3, but the game clearly riffs mostly on the Left 4 Dead games. The reason Warhammer Vermintide 2 doesn't feel like a cheap knockoff is partly because it's been 10 years since we last saw a new Left 4 Dead game, but mostly because every detail in this game is masterfully crafted. The overall feeling of the game, from gameplay to presentation and progression, is overwhelmingly positive. All 5 characters are unlocked from the start, but you can unlock 2 more careers for every warrior and several new skills for each character. There are no loot boxes that try to lure you off your real-life money, but lots of free loot to collect after each mission. There are tons of challenges to complete during the missions that give you even more loot. Playing the game gives you that rewarding Christmas feeling over and over again. These co-op horde-like games usually feel a bit repetitive after a while, and Warhammer Vermintide 2 is no exception. Even though the matches has a lot of random elements to them, they all follow the same kind of arc. Quiet, wave of enemies, quiet, several waves of enemies, meeting with a boss, and repeat. But the game never becomes dull. The gameplay itself, while entertaining and rewarding, is not the big star here. It's the loot and the team play. Co-op games are a lot like dating. They tend to follow a certain routine, but as long as you do it with someone you really like, you don't mind that routine at all. Warhammer Vermintide 2 is a game you should play with 3 friends. It's a perfect co-op game to play online with your pals. But playing with 3 randoms is fun too. The more experienced players usually take on the role of mentor and shows the newcomers where they should go next and where all the secrets are. In an otherwise often toxic online world, it's a beautiful thing to experience. And you really want to find the secrets. One interesting part of this game is its added difficulty to get more loot system. You can find 3 tomes and 2 grimoires on each stage. If collected, these will give the entire team much better loot after the match. Each player can only carry 1 tomb and 1 grimoire, so at least 3 players must help. But carrying them also makes the game harder. If you carry a tomb, you can't carry a healing potion, and for each grimoire carried by someone on the team, 1/3 of every player's health bar is removed. This means by collecting these books, things can suddenly get really tough. But if you are on a team where the players know where all the tombs and grimoires are hidden, they are usually experienced enough to help keep you alive until the end. If you plan on playing a first-person online co-op game with your friends, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is the game I would recommend. Yes, it's a bit repetitive at times, but the social elements of the game, the loot, and the wonderful action makes up for that. It's got a beautiful progression system where you always get new interesting things, and leveling up your characters feels great. All in all, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is a wonderful experience that I return to again and again to get my fantasy, co-op and loot fix with nice player interactions and lots of monster slaughter. The good. Great co-op. Collecting tombs and grimoires brings excitement to each match. Wonderful progression system. Nice characters. Solid gameplay with lots of rewarding action. Lots of different weapons. Cozy hub world. The bad, a bit repetitive at times. When all is said and done, I give Warhammer Vermintide 2 8 out of 10. If I had 3 friends that played this game too, I would probably have scored it even higher, but playing with randoms is usually also a treat. While a bit repetitive at times, every match plays out in a different way. You can never get too many co-op games, and when it comes to playing online, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is among the very best today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.